Buck, 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 buck. Blue Hawk Legend!
And welcome back to the Static Crypto Show. I'm your host, Blue Hawk Legend, and today I've got another great decode for you guys using backmasking. And for those of you that are new, backmasking is playing audios backwards that reveals secret hidden messages of what these world leaders really think. This is mind-blowing. This is amazing. The more of you that watch this will find out, yes, this is true. You'll go through each one of my videos and start saying, wow, yes, this is real. This is really real. You can use this to your advantage. I'm not going to say how. You can use this as investment advice. I'm not going to tell you to do that. This is not financial advice. I would use this with research. But this is very, very critical. This is very crucial, I believe. And I'm using it to my advantage. Now, going on with this interview, I'm going to split this up into a 4-part series because it is basically an hour long and I didn't want you guys to sit there through an hour of backwards audios. So I'm going to split it up and make it a little interesting. That way it's a little more bearable and you guys can soak it in better. You guys can hear the words a little better. What's said in this interview, again, we have the truth coming out. This is mind-blowing. This is literally fucking mind-blowing. Excuse my language. I have to say it. There's nobody else doing this in the crypto community space. Nobody, no other channel has this. No other channel is doing this. This is just amazing what we're finding here. And you guys will see from part 1 to part 4. It's just, it'll blow you away what's in here. So without any further ado, let's get straight into it.
We're going to go over time. Ken, real quick, when you think about the technology piece of this right now, I assume you think it's a lot better for society than worse, but I do wonder whether you think the technology is long as the word always yeah so that yeah is for that I'll think it English yeah but when you said the sea is long as the begin for you heel cornet master will
argue that yes, we have more dependencies on maybe one blockchain, which we could all talk about. But that being said, the activities are probably processed and more secure than ever before. In the tokenization and digitization of their currency. That's Brazil and India. I think we need to move very rapidly to doing that. We would be reducing fees. We would do more democratization by reducing more. If you pick the first date of each quarter, the 10-year Treasury moved 3 basis points. That's all it did. Each point, January 1st, April 1st and on, the 10-year Treasury moved 3 basis points across, yes, but in between those quarters, there was huge volatility. But that's the efficiency of the market. That is the beauty of what Citadel has created. That
And then it took a long time as well, by the way, from the efficiency of it, to correct that rumor. But today, and we saw this with Silicon Valley Bank in the United States, for example, The second that somebody says and goes public and says, I'm taking my account from this bank, everybody can go rush for the exits. This guy, the showing it up your back. Yeah, said Marv. Smash, I'm getting out of the box on that. Says he almost let me guess it. Old man's your states, and he can't be live, Nicholas. The folks that lost you. Yes, the stuff. From a rat, I workers. Relationship in Philadelphia, national workers in there.
Video game processors. The three largest mindshare names in AI are all effectively less than roughly 10 years old. I and his man here with the services are me. I and his man here with the services are me in a fraction of a lifetime. It's a tremendous success story. It's the story of the vitality of the U.S. economy that small and medium enterprises, American corporation and not on foreign companies. And then, of course, cronyism is a constant fear with tariffs, that you create an environment where the company most connected to Washington is the company that curries favor. And that puts small and medium enterprises at a real disadvantage. And I'm gonna touch on a point here to go back to your commentary about the rise of these very large, successful businesses. Den heeft de zit lawyer weer dat ze ja van een medium arms snuff en RVF hier ga je market nee schau en zo meer market right we have an air we it's for the very it's not because it's in the inner show van then see the maken of not on in the share broken crane this is it was ask girl we're see was ja weer maker we have a good heel for a shot nee then I have to sit lawyer we that is out for a meeting arms stuff and it RVF's here and your buckets nee shows and so a meat bucket right around an air we at first the grief it's not because it's in or show fun in that see the fucking off not on it and share is who pays for the tariff, right? With any tax, and a tariff is a tax, there's always a question, who pays the tax? And in this case, it does appear there's CX in the sky see sky is version sky in it yeah, first and see
both affected by that.
Ken, you've been doing the math on that. What do you think?
So, you know, obviously, I've spoken out on this topic over the course of the last year and change, and
gone around so desperate to get votes to win the election in 1928, to get votes from farmers, that he pledged to them that he was going to implement tariffs. And 1930 comes around. We already had the crash of 1929. Every economist and banker went down to Washington on their knees and said, please don't do this. I beg you, do not implement these tariffs. And of course, because he had made this pledge to capture these votes, he said he needed to go forward with it. And then, of course, a year later, I was not here at least on that. Snam up me is no so we could neither self. He had Sir Rolf must have big. See, you know, she's on the skelly and they was that slow biggest group side bus and I don't.
And welcome back. So, we're going to go over these words real quick. Starting off with Ken Griffin from Citadel. He said, Elon, data, dead asset. Pretty simple. Think, this is how. Initiate, initiate, initiate. He said that back to back. Remember, I'm only cutting out parts that I think aren't that important, and I tell you which ones I cut out. What I didn't put in from Fink, he said suck it, invest. What I did put in, shit face, money, Brito. Now, this I believe is the second or third time we heard the name Brito, Arthur Brito of Ripple. He said last time in the other Larry Fink decode that I did, he said Arthur Brito is a snake. You can go back and listen. Go back and watch the video on my Larry Fink video. That's why I said go back and listen to these videos. There's some crucial information in those. And they're starting to make connections now. What I didn't put in there from Larry Fink, initiate, lie. So he's, what I didn't, again, I'm going to go over Fink real quick. This is how, initiate, initiate, initiate. Suck it, invest, shit-face, money, Brito, initiate, lie. Again, when you hear Eli or lie in the backwards audio, that means they told a lie somewhere in that forward part about whatever they were talking about, whatever the topic was. There's a lie in there somewhere. Now, from interviewers, the Sorkin, this guy Sorkin, it'll be wrecked. This is what I did put in there. It'll be wrecked. Elon Musk, asset, Nicholas lawsuit, shift in. I don't know who Nicholas is. I'm guessing that's one of his co-workers or friends, and he's in some kind of lawsuit. Ken Griffin. Now, this is important right here. He said, that's how AI, that's how it's the law. They have it. What I didn't put in there is the name. This is it. It's for us. Hurry. This year, they exit. We survive. I'm going to say this one more time. That's how. This is what Ken Griffin said. That's how AI. That's how. It's the law. They have it. This is it. It's for us. Hurry. This year, they exit. We survive. I don't know how much more in your face this could be. If you have any doubt. The other ones were years ago. The other videos I did, some of them were years ago. Some of them were a little more recent. But they were saying it's kind of the same thing. No exit. They need an exit. But they weren't saying this year. They were saying not this year. I believe in the Michael Saylor decode I did also. He said not this year. I believe the David Schwartz ones also, he said, not this year, not this year. Now we're getting in all of these Davos interviews, this year, they exit, this year, they exit, need an exit. We're getting this over and over and over now. This is pretty amazing. Again, combined with the research, these backwards audios, you can use them how you want. This isn't financial advice, but use them how you want. Like I said, in the last one with Elon Musk, if we have any hint of him doing anything with Reddit, that's a confirmation. If we hear anything about Van Eck and Ripple, that's another confirmation, because that was mentioned 2 videos ago. Ripple Alliance, Van Eck partnership. I mean, that's like, and that was back to back. That wasn't like front to back to where the beginning of the interview and the back of the interview. That was word after word. Boom, 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 boom. Going back in these interviews now, same thing with Elon Musk saying Frodo in the last one, and we connected that with the Lord of the Rings he put up there. We know, like I said, we're all nerds, but we know he put that up there. He's a Lord of the Rings nerd. So is Chris Larson with Palantir. He names everything. Peter Thiel and Chris Larson, everything around Lord of the Rings, how all their startups are. And by the way, they are the biggest VCs. Him and Horowitz are the biggest VCs in Silicon Valley right now. But it's just amazing what we're finding. Continuing on here, Lagarde, what I didn't put in there, said Gary exit. She might have meant Gary Gensler is going to exit out of something, maybe a stock or crypto, I don't know. But, you know, you can keep an eye on Gary too to see maybe he'll sell off a large part of his assets. Sorkin, I didn't put in there, he said the law. historian, what I didn't put in there, he said, this is it. That's the law. Van Eck, this time, this is it. Again, we have Van Eck mentioned. Again, this is now basically in every interview. Keep an eye on Van Eck. Keep an eye on Ripple. There's something big going on with Van Eck. Continuing here, this last part with the interviewer Sorkin. Again, pay very close attention. He says, they're all fucked. Suck it. The asset. No exit. Yeah, you know. You guys heard it word for word right here. And the other 3 parts, we're going to break this down even more, and it's just going to get more mind-blowing. It's just going to get bigger as it goes on. You guys will see how these interviews go off, or this interview goes off in these 4 parts. But again, they're all fucked, talking about the population. Suck it, the asset, no exit. Yeah, you know. That's what Sorkin said backwards. Again, he's on the in crowd. This guy, he's talking with these world leaders. I would highly suggest you guys go back, watch the other videos, and combine this information. Maybe even write it down to see what'll happen. See if you see any news articles or anything. But again, this is just mind-blowing. So thank you guys for watching. Please comment. Let me know what you think. Hit the like button. Share this like crazy. Get the word out. The more eyes we have on this, maybe we can get some more people doing it, doing more interviews, and we can release even more videos, because there is such a wealth of information here that's just untapped. We're sitting on a gold mine here. We have what these people are really thinking, and possibly what they're going to do, and or have done in some cases. But get ready for part 2. It's coming. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one.